Hey everybody, Hostron here with another Star Trek First Edition video. I'm just here with the little Bink Banks hanging out on a Sunday evening. I've been meaning to make this video for a while. It's basically going to be a deck building video. I think the practical realities of this is that this video is probably going to end up having to be two videos. Even possible it might have to go to a third, just depending on how long this takes. I really haven't had the time to really devote to it, and of course this process can take a while. We're going to probably focus on building probably a fairly straightforward deck. We might even just kind of cut some corners just to kind of make things simple, that it's be kind of a quick and dirty thing in certain aspects of it. But been wanting to put this out there for everyone to kind of see a bit of the deck building process. So there's a video out there for, say, a newer player to just kind of understand that, the deck building process doesn't have to be a big laborious thing for first edition. It can be just fairly straightforward. Um, and just so that everyone does understand this is going to be purely from scratch. I have not done any legwork ahead of time. I have not really even done much thinking about what it is that I would even build, other than maybe I had like one or two cards in mind, maybe. And we'll even just see if that's even a thing that's even worth pursuing as we go along. So you are going to see this deck be almost 100% built from scratch. It's going to be something that gets put together um, basically completely off the cuff. So we're going to do this in a kind of semi-random manner. There are 18 different affiliations in the game of first edition, and we are going to randomly select one in the truest sense. So left to right, 1 through 18, got the old random number generator ready. So let's go ahead and find out what random affiliation we're going to end up playing. And let's hopefully try not to hit a 6, because I don't know that a Ferengi deck is going to be easy to build. So you watch what's going to happen. But let's go ahead and give it a shot here and see what we do. 13. Okay, lucky number 13, I guess. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Wow, we're on non-aligned. Okay. Non-aligned. All right, so 1, 2, 3, yep, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yep, with 5 others to make 18. So non-aligned is what we're going to make. Wow, okay. So, non-aligned. Initial thoughts with non-aligned is Sona's not aligned, androids are not aligned. What we can do is we can just do a kind of a basic straight up non-aligned personnel, and we can just kind of take a quick look here. Another thing that jumps to mind rather quickly is War Council. So maybe we do something with War Council. We could be in the Delta Quadrant and just kind of do, like, see if there is something strictly in the Delta Quadrant with War Council. I suppose we could do Sona. We could do, I wonder if there is the possibility that we could do, like, Androids War Council. Androids War Council is a possibility, other than the fact that, the androids, to really do the androids, they don't like having non-androids in the deck. So again, I don't know that that's a real thing, but we could do it in the sense of, instead of doing the newer android stuff, we could just simply do it as a straight up cybernetics expertise with War Council. So those are just some initial thoughts. Yeah. Boy, this is going to be interesting. All right. All right. Let's see what other people have done. Let's see what other people have done, if anything. Yeah, we're just going to end up seeing some soon-type androids, things where they're playing with feds or they're playing with Hirogen, and that's really what they're doing. So yeah. Let's get another deck builder. Get a deck builder tab going. Yeah, let's just go create new deck. All right. Deck building video deck. Non-aligned. Oh boy. We are in the thick of it. We are definitely the thick of it, everyone. So okay. I wonder if we actually start with missions. I wonder if we start with missions, that's something that we could actually maybe get a little bit of inspiration for. Non-aligned missions. See what we come up with. All right, so we got some Delta Quadrant stuff here to start with. Assist cooperative, of course. Badlands region break prisoner. I'm thinking, just as we're going through this here, that I wonder if, as far as like a deck building rule is concerned, you know, if we're off of non-aligned just a little bit, like if we, you know, we're gonna build a non-aligned deck, and then if there is like a few affiliation personnel in the deck, I think we're gonna be okay with that. Yeah, I think we'll just be okay with that. Boy, the more I think about it, you know, just the one thing that came to mind immediately kind of is, I wonder if we couldn't just focus on Sona, because the Sona got some help in the new set. I wonder if that's like a possibility. So we can just do that. Yeah, because we're just kind of going through here. I mean, there's also like 22nd century on the line that we could do. Yeah. Ooh, we could, because like the Sona is like non-property. The Sona is already like non-property enforced, and the 22nd century stuff is fairly non-property enforced. What we could do is we could try to put together something that's both Sona and 22nd century. We just won't play with Finally Ready to Swim, but we could then have two different reporting locations. We could go with police trade routes time location of the Smuggler's Rendezvous. Another possibility is, instead of doing that, what we could do is we could take the tech from the Vulcan deck I played recently, where we're gonna just download some recruit mercenaries. I kind of like that idea, so let's maybe do that. Let's go Sona. Let's go Sona, and we'll recruit mercenaries because we have a starting location, and we can report there, and then we could just attempt the mission, and you know, we're just going to download all of our dudes right to there. That sounds very interesting to me. That sounds very, very weirdish. So let's go ahead and start with that. So we're going to just go ahead and start with the Baku planet then. We'll just literally start there then. Let's commit to the idea. So we're going to just go ahead and put insurrection in the deck, and we're just going to commit to it. Am I blind? Okay, insurrection. That's our first mission. We'll start with that. All right, so we're gonna further refine this because now that we know that we're in the Alpha Quadrant, and let's actually find some non-aligned space missions here. That would be good. I like assemble fleet because officer leadership, double treachery, and then we can find any intelligence because there's like non-aligned that have different kinds of intelligence, stuff like that, or Shran. Oh, that's right, Shran's not in the game. So that's kind of interesting. It would definitely be a mission that no one would duplicate on us. Conduct stellar research. We could get Ambergos Observatory. Yeah, you know, if Dr. Tolian's sword as a four, we could change the direction like this. We could be really interesting and just throw in random nonsense like this. Especially since this, I mean, this comes in for free with the mission. So let's toss in 30-point space mission, double astrophysics. I mean, we can just go conduct stellar research just because it's hilarious. And then we could actually attempt to make the Nexus be a thing that we do. Maybe as like a 2-mission win kind of a thing. Yeah, conduct stellar research. Right there. Okay. I don't really want to do host metaphysics shield test because of it being stealable. Meh. Sleeper ship, same kind of problem. 40 points. Stellar Rebirth is a 35-point space mission's pretty nice, and you know the skill's pretty good. So observe Stellar Rebirth. And since we're kind of making the deck look like it's feds, we're kind of making it look like it's feds. Samaritan Snare would be a very interesting card to do. Treat Plague Ship just for the lulz. The issue is that, like, Plague Planet's not something that we could necessarily attempt in order to be like, okay, we go 30 points here and 35 points for Treat Plague Ship plus doing Insurrection because we want to kind of. Well, I have an idea in mind. We'll come back to it. It's something that you guys have seen me do in a previous video. We'll come back to that where we can try to get this Insurrection solved first. Just kind of guarantee it. So really, that's the reason why we're kind of focusing on our space missions here first, trying to get at least 3 space missions. We may want to do 4 space missions. And the reason why is that then if the opponent wants to dead-end Insurrection on us, it could, it can be a thing where they're going to have to like devote the seed slot to it. They may like add on to their one of their 2 planet combos, and so then we can just call it, and then we're just going to face a regular planet combo there. And if we know that we're facing essentially a planet combo there, then that allows us to kind of be better prepared for what it is that we might face there. I like evade sensors here just because of the fact that it's another 35-point space mission with 3 span. 23rd century is potentially relevant. I kind of like intercept dignitary here just because officer security 2 nav is going to fall right into when we download with recruit mercenaries. So let's go with intercept dignitary for sure. Intercept dignitary. Let's find our second planet mission. And then we can come back to the last one. It's also possible that we use that 6th mission as a total, like, let's just do something weird. Like, we could go with adding in the Armus dilemmas. We could add in the Armus planet mission and just make the Armus, like, we could have a theme with Armus dilemmas or something, just as like a total side, a little side fun. There's also the possibility to go with Foster New Collective, and we could actually do like the non-aligned board or something. That could be interesting as a total like little side project. Yeah, we just got to avoid this nonsense because if we actually stick androids in the deck, then we have to avoid that. I kind of like this. This might, you know, it threatens like maybe you need to move the dead end off of Insurrection, but let's be honest, that's probably never happening. There's also the possibility that we need to keep open the 22nd Century Planet missions because we may go with, we may be downloading Preserver Obelisk targets. All right, who can we get here? We can just get Khan Singh. He's got a treachery. We would just have to find like another treachery. For War Council. Yeah, I mean that's a bit of an issue. Let's see here. I don't reallocate dividends. I suppose the Teppo. Does Teppo have the treachery? Does Teppo have treachery? No, he doesn't have treachery. He doesn't have treachery. So that's a treachery problem. Because what I'm thinking is we want to, on the opening turn, we want to get 4 treachery for War Council draws, right? Like so that like literally on turn 2 as our card play we can get draws. So let's open this up then to any crew. Memory Alpha's banned. We could go with Examine Morality. It would be then a 40-point mission that's stealable, but it would also potentially draw the opponent's eye away, and we could just go with Exculvian Green as a double treachery. So then all we have to do is have any treachery in our opening hand. We could also stay off a con then on that planet mission, and we could just go with Exculvian Green, and we could actually play like Yarnek because he's pretty good. You know, Anthro, Geo, Empathy. Let's see here. Protected Culture. I mean, Miramani doesn't have the treachery, but she does Anthropology. So if we went with her Anthropology, well, yeah, I don't know. We got some thoughts here. I think I have it. Okay, so let's do another search here. Let's get another search box open. Gallatin doesn't have treachery, but he has Anthro. Yep. Personal species. Let's take a quick look here. Raffo has double treachery, but doesn't have Anthropology, and then Gallatin has Anthropology, but not whatever. So for like, if we're thinking that we would set up a duck blind on Insurrection, then our first turn download with the outpost could either be Gallatin or Ruafo. If we get a double treachery in our opening hand, we could just download Gallatin as the first one. I kind of like that idea. And so therefore, I think we would want to have the Anthropology. So what we could, and we want to kind of avoid, I mean, so what we could do is we could just go with Examine Morality and then have Exculvian Green and Yarnek be our Preserver downloads. because then we have the anthropology and the double treachery covered on the 2 people just off of 1 mission, and that frees us up so that we can have that last mission still just be whatever we want to do. Yes, this is a steal level mission, but it's also a potentially high value target mission, so that the opponent has to think about putting their dead end here, and if they don't, and we say we get our examiner morality like right next to our insurrection in some weird way, then we can literally just get off it and go to examine morality and do examine morality as our mission instead of insurrection first. Because I'm also thinking that it's going to be like, we're not going to have either. We should have the very easy ability to like just not have a whole lot of honor or treachery available and be able to solve this mission pretty easily. So I think that's going to be our plan. So we're going to go with examine morality as our 22nd century mission. And then for outside the game, we're just going to go ahead and commit to Yarnak and Excalbian Green. And then in the seed deck, we can just go ahead then, we're already then committed to going with Preserver Obelisk. We're going to go with Q's Tent for sure, just because, and we're going to go with regular Q's Tent, because we're going to kind of keep this deck a little bit simple. Like I said, we're not going to mess with Civil War, we're not going to mess with Tribunal. I don't even think that we may seed defend Homeworld and that's it with this deck. I'm not even convinced that we're going to have AU Personal yet, so that might be a good thing. But I think what we are going to do is we are going to go with a space-time, temporal micro wormhole. Let's commit to a temporal micro wormhole, so we can get space-time portal. Because if we're gonna, and there's a reason for this, and we'll just stick it in the Q's tent. We'll just stick the space-time portal in the Q's tent for now, just as a holding place for it, as a holding pen. So for those of you at home who are following along on all this, you're kind of seeing that what you really need to do with deck building is that once you kind of make decisions about what it is you want to do, you just start putting those additional cards into your deck, because the tweaking will come later. So you're basically just worrying about what is my deck strategy, what is it that I'm trying to do, and you're just kind of building it organically and letting the pieces kind of fall into place as you go along. So we've also committed to, like, I think we're pretty much committed to then doing a duck blind as a card draw mechanism. So we'll just go ahead and put the duck blind in the deck for now. And we're definitely doing the Sona stuff, so we'll just put the Sona outpost in the deck, the Sona Observatory into the deck. And we are going to just do War Council as a free play engine, just because if we're going to be a non-aligned, let's just commit to it. I mean, War Council is the thing. And then for the draw deck, we can just go ahead and already put in. We can just put in Roafo Gallatin. We'll just put Roafo and Gallatin in the deck right now, just because we can. Alright, so there's Roafo. In the G's, we get Gallatin. We'll go ahead and put, we'll go ahead and get the Sona stuff in here into the Q's tent. So collect basic particles, and then that's going to require that we have injector assembly 1, which we'll put in the Q's tent as well for right now. Not something we want to draw. Alright, and then the draw deck we could just go ahead and we can get some of these Sonas in because they're going to be free plays. So we're going to just put 2 of each of those in for right now, just because we can build skills out from them. So back to the personnel. So we'll start with Sampo. Alright. Put in a Sampo. Put in Ray Ellen. Put in Perena. Ray Ellen. Perena. And Sampo again. Alright, and we've got the other guys in there. Okay. Let's look at androids next. Just doing non-aligned androids. We're not going to break into the fed ones that can become non-aligned with Lore's fingernail just quite yet. So let's just start with Lore, just because of the fact that I never really ever find a reason to play with Lore. He's also double treachery, so then he would be a reason why, if we just draw him in the opening hand, that he's a way that we can get our double treachery to play immediately. Raina K-Pack has just so many skills that she's pretty good no matter what. So let's just put Raina K-Pack in the deck. Because right now we're not really worrying about free plays and stuff like that quite yet. We're just putting in skill bosses, people who are just so good that they're just hard to deny. They're just so hard to deny. We'll worry about all the rest of that stuff later. Because if we're going to do War Council, so if we're doing War Council, then you know, just we'll come back to the non-aligned civilians and VIPs here in a moment. And then we may have to come up with like another play engine of some kind. I don't know what that's going to be. It might just be, I don't know. I have no idea what it's going to be. But we're just going to start with the War Council and the Sun Observatory, and then the Baku, because the Baku get to play to the planet for free as well. But I have this idea in my mind that we could theoretically, like I said, get androids for free as well as a play engine if we go with the cybernetics expertise. What we can do in order to cheat that in, just as an early thought, is we defend homeworld for Sona. Sona gives someone cybernetics, and then we're off to the races that way. That would be basically a turn 3 play engine. So it's not really like great, because our first turn play engine, our first turn download is probably going to be in order to get our card draws going. So, you know, it's one of those things where we're going to figure this out as we go. All right. Yep. Okay, so we'll do a quick search here. Let's see what cybernetics we have available to us. So, affiliation, non-aligned, cybernetics. Do any of them have security? The answer to that is no. What we can do is, if we just like opening turn with our, if we have in our opening turn, because that's the other thing we have to keep in mind, is that we also are gonna, if we're gonna do this stuff with recruit mercenaries, then it may not even be necessary to do the other one. But I feel like we have the potential to get like a ton of draws with this deck, and if we get a bunch of draws and like a bunch of free plays, we could like really go crazy with this. So let's just go ahead and do it. Let's just go ahead and commit to, for right now, we'll put in cybernetics expertise so that our play engines, we're going to have the potential for like 4 to 5 free plays. 4 to 5 different free plays. Obviously, we're not expecting that they're all going to get used all like every single turn. But the idea is that with like 4 to 5 free play engines, essentially, any card we draw gives us the freedom to be like, our card play is almost always going to be War Council, or it's going to be our recruit mercenaries. Okay, so so this is what my thinking is that with cybernetics and non-aligned personnel, it's going to override quadrant restrictions since we're downloading them just to that person. So like Balana Torres, you know, she has 5 dots, but we can put her in the deck. We can put her in the Q's tent, and she could be a 5 skill Hoss that we go get for cybernetics, so that we get like her 5 skills plus any other 2 skilled personnel, you know. So let's back up a second here. So for people who are not familiar with it, maybe didn't watch the previous video. Recruit mercenaries is you just have to download non-aligned personnel or Ferengi treachery personnel with up to 7 total icons where I have treachery present. You pay them, you lose the points. Those points are scored at the location of where those people are download to. Okay. Recruit mercenaries, I believe, does the reporting because it says that they have to download to the personnel where you have treachery present. I believe it overrides quadrant restrictions, and you don't actually have to have like a normal reporting mechanism. I don't think you have to have an outpost there. Fairly certain about that. I could be wrong, but it just says it downloads them to where I have treachery present. So it just sounds like, you know, it's not a normal. It's just not downloads dudes. It's downloads to. Same way with other things where if it says like, you know, download to your ship or download to your outpost, since it's telling you where they have to go, is overriding normal reporting restrictions. So the beauty of this is that even though the Sona outpost doesn't normally allow like a reporting of other things, the Sona Observatory doesn't. You know, the Recruit Mercenaries is going to bypass it, and then of course War Council. War Council is going to do the same thing. Each of your, you know, is cunning +2. Once they share one such personal reporting for free. So, you know, War Council also doesn't War Council is going to cede onto the. It's going to cede onto the Sona Observatory. The Sona Observatory doesn't allow any other like reporting. So the issue is going to be. Yeah, the issue is going to be with War Council is that we're going to probably have to have a second reporting facility because War Council doesn't grant the ability for those cards to report there for free. It's not because Sona Observatory. Oops. am I? Let's get off all this then. Okay, so sorry. Okay, so sorry. Yeah. So your Sona cards may report here for free. Nothing else can. Okay, stations don't have natural reporting, built-in reporting. So only the things that say that can report there are the only things that can report there. War Council doesn't allow it. So if you're reporting other things, those other things have to go to the other location. So we're probably just going to go ahead and put in we're going to most likely put in either a Husnock outpost or a neutral outpost. All right. Most likely the neutral outpost, because then we could, if our opponent seeds a space mission right next to our insurrection, then we will have the ability to slide it right there, and now we have both of our reporting. We'll have both of our reporting locations right next to each other, and we're good to go in that sense. So, and of course, we are not going to be doing any. We're not going to be doing any. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second. Sorry, we're not going to be doing any downloads of Recruit Mercenaries on the opening turn. That's a second turn thing. That's our second turn thing, no matter what. Because our first turn download of personnel is always going to be whatever. It's probably going to be whatever it is that we need in order to make our duck blind and such go forward. So I still feel like this is solid right here. But we're just going to go ahead. We've realized that we need that second facility, so let's just do what we said it is that we're going to do. Let's just go with the neutral outpost. It's not going to protect our ships. It's not going to repair our ships very well, but it does give us that flexibility to make sure that we put everything kind of close together. And then if we can get our space mission next to our planet mission, then we're going to have the ability to do a potential 2-mission win rather easily. And I think that's what I want to do with this. I'm always looking for a 2-mission win possibility. And so I'll go ahead and we'll put it in right now, the thing that I'm thinking of. I'm thinking let's do Obsession. We can do an Obsession as a possible 2-mission win option here. So now the question I have is do we have the possibility for another seeded card draw? And I don't think that we do, but we'll come back to that. But what I'm thinking is it we're also going to need to deal with dead end, and so I think that we'll go ahead and put it in now just because I'm thinking about it. But we're going to use the trick that I've used before, where we're just going to have Reunite Legends download the Enterprise A, which downloads Kirk, which downloads, the ability to Genesis effect a dead end at Insurrection, so that we can try to solve Insurrection as our first mission under the metaphasic particles in order to get double turn and stuff like that, so that we can try to move even more efficiently. It won't be game breaking, but it can be a way to screw with people. So yeah, and then of course Reunite Legends goes on the neutral outpost. So, we were going to have a second reporting location for multiple reasons, because we're going to have to put the War Council and the Reunite Legends onto the neutral outpost. That's fine. We are probably also going to have to now commit a seed slot to downloading a ship, so to make sure that we can move our personnel on the first turn to the Sun Observatory. That is to say, our people that we preserve are Obelisk. So let's just go ahead and put a space door in right now. And right now, this cybernetics expertise is acting as a flex spot. We're not committed to it, but I'm liking what I'm thinking about it. I just don't know what it is, though. But if we want to go with 19 dilemmas, or if we're going to be okay with 18 dilemmas, with a 2-mission win deck, it usually requires that extra little bit. So we may have to just be okay with 18 seed or 18 dilemmas. But we'll come back to that. I think this is pretty good right now, as far as what it is that we're trying to accomplish. But we'll figure that out here momentarily. But the idea is going to be that we're going. We probably need a battle bridge, don't we? If we're going to try to blow up things, if we're going to go amoeba hunting with this and hunting other things, we're going to probably. I think we're already. It's going to have to be. I think we're going to have to battle bridge. So there we are. We're at our 12 now. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do it just like this. And now the temporal micro wormhole is kind of our potential flex, along with a cybernetics expertise. We're not committed to those two right now, because those are the things that I'm not even sure that we need them yet, right? Because as of right now, we don't have a single AU anything. Well, no, we got Sculpting Green and Yarnet. We got a Sculpting Green, no way. Oops, yeah. So we are committed to the temporal micro wormhole, aren't we? That's fine, because the space-time portal we're going to use to protect Injector Assembly 1 to some degree. We're also going to potentially use it to get around dealing with anything that plays on anything that can screw their ship. But what I'm thinking is that Obsession's going to open the door for us to be able to quantum slipstream drive our way out of dealing with both Cytherians, and then also the fact that if gender dilemmas are a concern within metas, then having your people go everywhere means that if you can play Quantum Slipstream Drive, as you've seen in my other decks, in my other amoeba hunting deck and stuff like that, being able to Quantum Slipstream Drive for free, on consecutive turns to go pick those people up, and then also to bring them back and solve a mission is very big. It would also open the door, this Obsession also opens the door for us to Quantum Slipstream Drive in a ship and tag our opponent, just totally out of the blue. So that's another reason why Battle Bridge can be a very big deal, because we can make a surprise drop on an opponent. So tactics side deck we're gonna have to put in here. Battle Bridge side deck. Okay. We're reminding ourselves that we have it. So I feel like this is our 12. Now the Cybernetics Expertise is the only flex seed that we're not sure if we need it or not. I'm kind of feeling like maybe we're not going to be able to do it. And I'm kind of thinking that if we can find a single card, draw engine that'll work with the deck, that might be what we have to prioritize. Because we could theoretically free play a Baku, theoretically free play a Sona, theoretically free play. No, that'd be it. No, that would be it. Free play Baku, free play a Sona. Yeah, maybe we're just going to leave it. I feel like this is what we're now committed to. We're committed to androids. Oh, we got War Council, sorry. And a free play War Council. So the Cybernetics Expertise is going to be questionable at this point, but I really like what the Cybernetics Expertise could offer us. I don't know. I feel like card drawing is going to be the thing that we're going to struggle with the most. But Obsession, like I said, with Obsession allowing us to free play Quantum Slipstream Drive and stuff like that, that's great because it continues to keep our War Councils open. So in the draw deck, let's just go ahead and commit to our War Councils. So we're just going to toss a few in. We're just going to toss... we'll toss one in just so that we, know that we need to add more later. And then recruit mercenaries. Tossing that in, just so that we remind ourselves we need more later. So what I'm thinking is that we're going to kind of copy some stuff from the Vulcan deck that I played. We're going to just go ahead and put we'll just put the the Orion slave girls into the Q's tent. So we'll go ahead and put Dinesh. Well, hold on a second. Are they VIPs or civilians? Okay, so non-aligned. Okay, let's clear it out. Non-aligned Orion. So Dinesh is not. Morris is a civilian, so she'll free play. Navarre is a civilian, so she'll free play. Nearest is a civilian, so she'll free play. Perik Soot, whatever, don't care. Shobihar. Because here's the thing, this is what I'm thinking is we'll do it very similar to what I was doing in another deck. You know, when we recruit mercenaries, it's going to be go get Shobihar and then go get somebody else, you know, with 3 skill dots, and then they on the opponent's turn can go get Dinesh or whoever. So we'll put Dinesh because she's not going to free play. Dinesh is going to go in the Q's tent. And then we don't want Shobihar to be a card play. We don't want him to be a card play. So Shobihar is going to go into the Q's tent as well, interestingly enough. Why am I not seeing it? Okay, so Shobihar, same way with Haradsar. Haradsar will just go, because they're recruit mercenary downloads, because they count as basically like adding just additional skills in. So Haradsar is going to go to the Q's tent as well for right now. And that actually frees us up to just go ahead and put Morris, Navarre, and Neris into the draw deck. Okay, so let's start Navarre. So Morris and Navarre. Oh man, I'm having a hard time seeing things right now. Okay, so Morris and Navarre and Neris. Why is Vita not showing up? Is there something I'm missing here? Why is Vina not showing up in this? Let's get rid of that. I don't have any skills selected here. Is Vina, is she like not considered Orion? That's interesting. Maybe she's considered a human survivor. Okay, Vina's not actually an Orion slave girl. She's not an Orion slave girl. She is a slave girl. That's interesting. Human survivor who became a green-skinned slave girl in an illusion, attempted to seduce. That's funny. Now you learn new things in this game all the time. She's actually human. She's not Orion. Oh, that's so funny. But here's the thing: she's a civilian and she's not aligned, so she'll play for free. So she's definitely going in the deck still, and then she can gain any skill. So she's still really good for the deck, of course. Okay. So we kind of got this like fun little like Orion sub theme here. So right now we've got Sona working with the War Council of Orion slavers. And then they're all recruiting mercenaries. So, fun. So building on that thought, though, of Harad Sar and Shoihar, what we can do is what we're going to do is we're going to search for non-aligned personnel who have a special download icon. Oh, have a special download. Here we go. That's what it is. Because then we can do is if we can find anybody who downloads anybody, we can maybe sneak a few extra. Because these are people that we're going to end up downloading on the opponent's turn. So here's a good one. Anya. Anya is a civilian who will play for free, so even if we draw her, whatever. And then we can put Celia into the draw deck as well, because she's also just a VIP. But if we're going to put Anya in the deck, we can just put Celia into the Q10. So I like that. We're going to just kind of have our Q10 just be like, okay, cool, we get free people on the opponent's turn. So these are people we get on the opponent's turn. It's essentially like, quote unquote, another free play. So she goes there, and then in the draw deck we get Anya. Did I just do that backwards? No, it put it both. Okay, no, wait, never mind. It didn't select the draw deck. That's the problem. Okay. Okay. Get rid of Anhaika. Get rid of Anya. So Celia. Yep, so Anya is what goes into the draw deck. Yep. Celia goes to the Q stand. All right. Nobody here. Although this is pretty cool. Having a tricorder download, and these are some pretty good skills, and they're both civilian, so they would play. You know, it's a good free play. Medical might be something that we struggle with. I mean, this is a really good skill matrix, so I'm thinking Beverly and Will just need to go into the deck just because. So let's just go ahead and put them into the draw deck right now. No. Nope. Alright. Hologram, no. He's not going to play for free. He would have to be a download to get those 2 disruptors. But 1, 2, 3, 4 skills as a, just so that we can make our dudes bigger and protect against denim and neuroparasites, get past strength walls, things of that nature. Let's keep Fontaine in mind right now, just as like he's a potential guy that we download with our recruit mercenaries as a flex. Hologram, capture, not concerned about that. Harcourt and Mud, what would he do? Got him in the deck. Don't need treaties or espionage cards. Morin's got too many skills, and like 3 of them are not really relevant most of the time. Kind of like the idea of Pank, 1, 2, these 4 skills. Pank is another possibility for just like, okay, he comes in only via the recruit mercenaries, and then he can special download either. He would then be able to download Hager, Pendari, this particular 7 of 9. Or we could even get the Sukasa ship, so that we would have just another ship that we can get, essentially, because free ship. Free ship's a free ship, right? That's interesting. I don't know how good it is, because, like, basically early on, like we said, if Pank had 3 skills, it'd be a no-brainer because, well, we can always run Pank. We could always theoretically run Pank through the temporal micro wormhole. We could put him in the deck, and then opening turn, we. Oh, that's an interesting thought. It's a very interesting thought. I'm not a fan of that AU. Oh my gosh. That's a very interesting thought. Something for us to think about. Shankar. We should put a Shankar on the deck for sure. Let's just put Shankar on the deck. His ability to get Disruptor is pretty good. Plus he has Archaeology, Bio, Geo. You know, I think Shankar needs to go in the deck. Granted, he's a card play. I don't know. He's a card play. If we were doing, they call themselves the Maquis as part of our non-aligned strategy here, instead of cybernetics expertise. But the thing is, though, is that cybernetics expertise allows us to keep all of our reporting together, and they call themselves the Maquis does not. And then we kind of have the possibility to get spread out as a little bit too much. So let's set Shankar aside for the moment. Taya can get us any Odo, but she comes in at 4 skills. You know, the 4 is the problem because our first guys are 4s, and so we need to find like 3s. Vosh is very interesting. I feel like Vosh almost needs to go in the deck, not for downloading, but just for the fact that getting Dig is a big deal. And the fact that she's double Archaeology, not on an officer. So we're going to put Vosh in there as just kind of like that's a bet head. You know, that's a hedge bet right there, that we just put her in the deck just as a pinch card. So Vosh, which Vosh is it again? It is the Next Generation Vosh. And then into the Q's tent, we'll put Dig. Because this is like the whole reason she's going in. Yint is a civilian who gets us the Disruptor Rifle, also gets us a Disruptor Rifle, so we'll just put Yint in for sure. He's also 3 skills. So this is where like the whole 3 skills and then getting a special download's pretty good. So Yint is going in for sure. Oops. All right, Yint, come on board. And then we'll get a Disruptor Rifle for him like right now. So we'll just put it in the Q's tent right now. Everybody's not aligned, so it doesn't really matter which one we get, which one we use for what affiliation. So just to be silly, let's put the Ferengi Disruptor Rifle in. I think the Ferengi one also. I think the Ferengi one says not aligned as well, right? It's got to, right? Yeah, Ferengi and not aligned use. All right. Okay. That's for the funds. All right. Here's another very interesting thought. We could put Kess into the deck. She would probably have to go to the Q's tent. She would be like our second round, possible like second round recruit mercenaries, because then once we get to space, then we can have her for the gift as a bug out card, and then also as a like, okay, cool, we face the Cytherians, we're on the Cytherians, gift, go to the end of the space line, next turn, free play our Quantum Slipstream Drive, we're right back to where we're supposed to be, and we're right on time. So I kind of like putting Kess and the gift into the Q's tent purely because we're not going card play her. That is, unless she ends up being like the card play through the temporal micro wormhole, which is a possibility. So, but I kind of like this idea. It's just bug out cards, you know, in general can be very, very important in weird situations. And right now, I don't know what it else says it's going in the Q stent anyway. So let's just do it. We're gonna just put it in for fun. Oops, I want to interrupt the gift. Keep in mind here, like, the other thing we haven't done is we have definitely not done defend homeworld or anything like that, or tribunal with Q, and I think that's definitively by design here. In case anyone was thinking about that earlier, I had said at the beginning I wasn't convinced that tribunal needs to be in this deck, and I'm not convinced that we need to defend homeworld, because if we're going to go with recruit mercenaries will get us whatever security dude we possibly could need. And since if we do recruit mercenaries, then we don't have windows for defend homeworld. So, speaking of which, Daniels, out of time. We're not time traveling with this deck, and we're not time traveling. We're not trying to abuse any time travel bug out card. So I don't really. This isn't going to be a big deal. Here's something good though. Sarda can get us intuition, and she's 3 dots. So this is our 1 card additional card draw engine possibly. So we're going to put Sarda in, and we're going to put intuition into the Q10. I've played with intuition a little bit in some kind of fun casual decks. I played it in the amoeba hunting deck. If everyone saw it, it just happened to go away based on the fact that just how the game went off. Wait, hold on. Intuition's an incident or is it an event? It is an incident. Okay, my bad, everybody. But it does work. Like, you just call. I mean, the way the modern game is right now, like the majority of an opponent's deck, and of course the majority of their hand in most situations, is just going to be personnel. So you just call personnel over and over again, and you'll probably hit 50% of the time for an additional card draw during the turn, regardless of where your intuition personnel is at on the board. They don't have to be in a specific place, which is really nice. So we'll go ahead and get our Miss Sarda. We'll go and get our Sarda into the deck. She's a free play, and she's in a way that we have Anthro Honor Law in the deck, which is pretty good. So it's not bad. Going back to the deck quick, we have 110 slot left right now. Let's go ahead and get the Beverly and Will Tricorder in there, I think. So any tricorder, these are our tricorder options. Straight up tricorders, engineers gain science. Science is kind of a big deal. I don't, at the very least, we'll definitely turn our Dinesh into an engineer science with it. Otherwise, we can give our science people medical. Yeah, this isn't, that isn't a thing that we're going to do. Otherwise, we can give our medical people engineer. We're going to have engineers. That's not going to be that big of a deal. And then, of course, we're not running a lot of TOS. Kind of coming back to this Excalbian Green, I believe. I believe he's an officer. Yeah, he's an officer, and then of course Yarnak is a science dude. They are TOS people. And I guess I'm not really exactly sure how many TOS people we have. I mean, at the very least, if we did go with one of the TOS, tricorders. I don't know. It doesn't really seem like it's the smart play because right now it's literally just Vina and these two guys. So that's a whole lot of meh. I definitely think, and of course, Vulcan tricorder is 22nd century personnel, but it's only gaining science, bio, or geo for an engineer or science classification 22nd century personnel. And right now, again, we're right back to just being committed to just a few people here. Like, it's just like a couple of those slave girls right now. So I think that I think gaining science is definitely our best option, because science is definitely the most common thing that we're going to need besides engineer, and we're going to find. I mean, the person who downloads this card is a double medical, so we're going to go with a straight up tricorder. We'll just put a straight up tricorder into the Q stint. And then, of course, we have the ability to kind of mess with this a little bit. Space-time portal can definitively go into our draw deck if we need it to. Same way with the collect metaphysic particles or injector assembly one, because chances are Ruwafo is going to be that opening turn download of a double treachery, and then he can just string that out, so we thin our deck rather quickly. So if we have other things that we may want to download by a special download, then realistically, you know, we can put Celia back into the draw deck. We can put Dig into the draw deck, you know, because those are things. And then, of course, Kess can go to the draw deck. And if we have, in games where you just happen to draw her, she's the thing that runs through your space-time portal. Oh, sorry, your temporal marker wormhole. So, all right. Okay. All right. So, who is going to be our cybernetics download? I don't know. Let's find out who. Let's go back to our cybernetics personnel here. Non-aligned cybernetics search. Because we're off the. I think we're off the Suna train. The only option, the only caveat to that being. Yeah, I mean, like I said, though, I mean, the thing about cybernetics expertise is that if we draw anybody with cybernetics, that's probably like, you know, yeah. I don't know. Dr. Roger Corby definitively is definitely going to win. He's archaeology, he's medical, he's computer skill, he's only 3 skill dots. So when we download Shobihar or Harad Sar with that opening thing, then he's the 3 skill dot that we probably go get, because then we open up our cybernetics expertise immediately. He's 4, he's 4, he's 5, and he's 4, and of course this had to be a skill instead of just giving him these 3, and then 1, 2, 3. Oh, sorry, he's 5. Oh my gosh, never mind. Ugh. I don't know. Roger Corby for sure. We're putting Roger Corby in the deck for sure. And then we'll put in Dr. Soong. Just because he's a science engineer combo. And then cybernetics times 2. I don't even remember. I don't remember offhand. Oh, that's just for reporting directly to them. Okay. Yeah. Yep. Yep. That's fine. Okay. We're still going to put him in there just because science, engineer, and computer skill is pretty good. And then we're going to have a little bit of like a sub theme going here with him and data and lore being in the deck for sure. And it's just fun. Like that's some old school Kevin having fun. Um, just some old school Kevin having fun. God, I would like to put. I really would like to get Balana into the deck just because she's so good. Oh my gosh. She's so good. Kareem Rhiannon. Ugh. Eh. Meh. um. Uh, Here's the thing though. Ira Graves reports for free to War Council, so if we actually randomly draw him, I don't know, but the problem is though, he really only has like 2 functional skills. Really only has 2 functional skills. And then of course, if we download him, it's 4, and one of those dots is quite literally a blank. Because I doubt the Kareem Brandon's going to make this deck. So, I don't know that he's worth it at this point. I think that just sticking with Roger Corby is kind of the way to go, and then putting Dr. Sung in the deck just for the ability to have like reporting androids directly to him or something might be theoretically relevant. Because I think we're going to put a couple of Sung type androids in this deck. So that being said, let's get back to who our androids are and see who's going in. All right. Alice series has very relevant skills, and transporter skills kind of hard to come up with. And then here's a special download. I don't know that this is going to be relevant, but we'll think about it. But I think just one Alice series in the draw deck is good, is just good because of the skills. So Alice series, and then of course the same way like Barbara series is just good. You know, science, medical, and good, just good skills. Like I've been playing with them in just the TOS feds, just because of how good those skills tend to be. Believe that this is the data we can run with if we want to. Bio, exobio, computer skill ×2, has engineer. The problem is that he then doesn't work with Dr. Sung. So maybe Dr. Sung just comes back out of the deck, because if we're also running lore, then they just don't work together. Give Dr. Roger Corby science if we play with Dr. Brown. 598 is pretty good. Kirk Android is 5 skills. So let's get lore in the deck. Let's get Kirk Android in the deck. So lore. And Kirk Android. I must have went right past him. Kirk Android. We're going to take Dr. Sung back out. Because if we're going to commit to lore and stuff, and then we can just put, we can put Sky's the Limit data in. We can totally put Sky's the Limit data in. we're still trying to stick with theme here of not having any, you know, aligned personnel. And then, of course, since like war council is our thing, we're not doing any aligned personnel. And we're not playing with the one. We're going to play with lore, because let's have some fun, and we'll play with crystalline entity. We're going to have some fun with it. Little limits then. So, sorry, I was saying that we're going to put in sky's the limit data. Gotta have data. Insufficient data is not what we're doing here. We have a good data plan. I like Rook, Security Engineer Geology Exo. It's just really good. I have found that it just randomly ends up being super, super good. So we're going to put Rook in. Stellar Mud sucks, and I mean, Lore's fingernail, I mean, you know, like I said, I would much rather just play with the other lore and actually have fun with, you know, and just have fun with, we'll play some crystalline entities, as opposed to just trying to shoehorn in a Fed data and stuff like that, or shoehorn in the other random Fed, shoehorning in the other Fed androids. As cool as that would be, as much fun as that would be, it's not really following what we're trying to do here with this deck building, where we're building an unaligned deck, so to speak. So, okay, so let's get back to, now we've got to figure out who's going in for War Council and who's going in for the fact that we can actually play Baku to Insurrection for free as well. So let's get rid of the androids, and let's see who the Baku are to start with. Still just these four. Man, I mean, Artem is not good, but we could put the adults in. I mean, we could theoretically put the adults in. I don't know how relevant Anisha's ability is, but the fact is that Sojef provides good skills, and Tornel provides good skills. So we're going to put Sojef and Tornel in. Sojef. Tornel. All right, now non-aligns with VIP. Anybody? Oh, yeah. Anybody good? Anybody good? Anybody good? Genghis Khan. We could get a blade weapon. Scalby and Lincoln's not really good. Yeah. I like Kamala because when she can gain any skill, and then has archaeology not on an officer again. So, you know, having any skill when reported in a pinch, pretty good. And we need females. We need females. Alright, so Kamala. Put in Kamala. And we're going to put the Sun type androids in that we forgot about earlier. Sun type android. Not soda. There's no. Leela. Other females present attributes +1s. Possibility. Where do you got Celia? deck. Shrod, Silic. Meh. Tepo provides us with another geology if we really want it. This is kind of interesting as a thought. The Traveler kind of fits into where we can hop anywhere we want to, and just basically plays for free. So, you know, we could, like I said, we could play this as like a sort of like pseudo surprise battle deck, where, you know, like I guess I don't really know off the top of my head who's got youth and stuff, but you know, we can double check that. We can come back to it. Let's just toss him. And then a Scalbing Kalos is just too good because he may gain any skill from a personal presence till end of turn, has leadership ×2 and security. So he's pretty good. So we'll go with a Scalbing Kalos in the deck as well. I mean, the fact that these Scalbings are just so good, you know. It's just funny. I mean, if we're gonna commit to having a stealable mission on the board, then let's really make it worth it. And Excobian Surak has been banned, so we can't play with him. And Vessel Kara is garbage. Tarman is garbage. I wonder, we could just do this right now. Let's do this. Let's save the deck. Let's do a skill check. Do we have youth in the deck at all? We have 4 youth in the deck? Oh, we have the Soon-type androids. Soon-type androids have it. Yeah, Soon-type androids have it. We do this fun little like bopping around the spaceline thing, you know. But he doesn't really provide anything besides that. But you know, especially as you know, but yeah, that's interesting. It's an interesting thought. We could do it just for the funsies. You know, once we actually work out our skills and stuff. But he's also he's literally just 1 skill. So with Recruit Mercenaries, he's literally 1 skill. He's that 1 skill dot that we could use just to make the math work. Like, oh, look at that. I have a 3 and a 3, or I have like, you know, a 4 and a 2 that I can download, and we'll just have him be the 3rd person. So you know what? I just talked myself into it. Let's do it. It's fun. It's fun. We're doing fun things. That's what we're doing. All right. Okay. So that was VIPs. Let's get some let's look at the civilians. Anybody worth doing? Garrett can jump in front of the bullet. Trader Wharf is basically just those 3 skills, and that's it. Dogs of War, Son of War, if this ability is useless, and these skills are not a big deal. Alamil, we could find a way to stick another non-aligned movie era card into the deck somehow to get, like I said, just another like, okay, here's another like 3 skill dude. You know, he'll play for free, and then he'll get a dude for free. So that's a possibility. I don't know what our navigation situation is in the deck as well, so that's also a question mark. Dealt with it. No. Man, Barash. What are the... It just doubles hologram ruse is all it does. Yeah, hologram ruse isn't worth worrying about. Barry Waddle. Again, just questionable about whether you want him for navigation or not. Bays is mirror, so it doesn't really matter. We already put Beverly and Will in the deck. I think Carlos is still banned. No, he's not banned. Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. Like, your draw deck is on ice. If with Dixon Hill, I think Dixon Hill's been banned. I think, right? Is Dixon Hill still banned? He should definitely still be banned, right? Yeah, he's still banned. Oh, that's Mirror Cochran. This isn't really a relative. This isn't really a relevant thing in first edition that much yet. And of course, they keep promising that they'll make a great Coast Emojin. I'm still waiting. Mirror, 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 hologram, hologram. Gem is interesting for a double empathy, just to screw with a V'ger. Hageth is not really relevant because he's basically just, all he says is anthro engineer on him. That's all he really says. Again, we're back to Ira Graves, same problem. We mentioned that before. Yep. Kind of like Jahil, just because, you know, in Command Star. Joaquim, pretty good. Security, astrophysics, physics, treachery, not bad. So that's a possibility. Now, Jonathan Archer cold front's where it's at, because we're getting 6 extremely relevant skills. So cold front Jonathan Archer is going in for sure. Plays for free, and we get 6 relevant skills. Gotta happen. Kivas Fajo, Kovathol, Kanta. Macius is a possibility, I guess. You know, Madame Guinan's interesting. I don't know how relevant she's going to be. Martia, you know, it's 5 skills. Mona loves its hologram. Otherwise, she'd be really good. Morin could play for free, you know, I suppose. Got him. Here's an interesting one. Kind of so we were questioning our navigation ability and needing some more youth and transporter skills, so kind of like Nick Lucarno going in the deck. We're kind of back to the whole Pank situation here again. But since we're not downloading with Defend Homeworld and we're not running him through, not necessarily running him through the Temporal Micro Wormhole, it's not really worth going into, I don't think. Racken is pretty interesting. He gets a stellar cartography, which I think we might be lacking in. Again, another archaeology, and again, another transporter skill again. Might be relevant. So Racken's another possibility. Rakeen, or whatever you want to say. Now here's a good one. Santos. Santos provides 5 skills, all pretty relevant. So we'll put him in. Delta Quadrant. been banned, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. It'd be interesting to kind of do a whole Cybok thing, but no. It's a little bit too much. Now we're talking about is a little bit too much. Albino, double exo biology, leadership medical again. Thomas Paris is interesting because he can be treachery or honor. Wayun 6, double diplomacy. It's pretty relevant, possibly. And our diplomacy situation, but our diplomacy situation's fine. Zephno, only if our stellar cartography is really lacking, which it isn't. Kind of like Zephram Cochrane. Astrophysics, I don't know where astrophysics is. Our astrophysics is suffering, so. And that's where we need to like focus on bolstering things. And of course, double engineer means he can move garbage scouts, which is always relevant. So we'll put Zephram Cochrane in the deck. Delta quadrant, delta quadrant, delta quadrant, blah, blah, blah. So we kind of accepted the fact that we need some more astrophysics. So let's go back. And let's look at astrophysics. And it's funny, but we're kind of back to Bellana Torres again. We can always put another Barba series in the deck. Because then she plays for free with being an android instead. We were kind of joking about the whole Tully and Soren thing earlier. I mean, theoretically, this is how we could try to two-mission win with the Obsession. We blow up we Obsession to blow something up, and then we get Tully and Soren under the Nexus somehow. We also have to keep in mind that as far as our deck is concerned, we're actually down to 17 because we need to get Eltonian Brain Teaser in as well. That's kind of a problem as well. The other option being is that we could just forget Reunite Legends, which is what I'm thinking actually. I'm thinking we might just get rid of Reunite Legends and not worry about the whole dead end thing. Let them dead end the planet mission. We do the space mission. We blow up the thing. We blow up the Obsession. We get to the 50 points, and now we're kind of cruising. So let's actually just do that. Let's get rid of Reunite Legends. Let's get the Eltonian Brain Teaser into the deck just to commit to it, because we're going to. As a self-seed. And then let's actually commit to this whole Sona idea. Sorry, to the whole, the Nexus. Because we can see two of them under the opponent's things. And then we have, the thing is though, is that the problem with like, you know, Soren and the Nexus has always been like, are you going to draw Soren, right? Since we are definitively going to be doing recruit mercenaries, we basically increase all these, you know, all these copies of it act like they're Tully and Sorens. So let's just go ahead and do it. Let's just go ahead and we'll put Tully and Soren in the deck. He's covering a skill that we desperately need. He's covering a skill that we desperately need right now. So we'll put Tully and Soren in. It'd be Dr. Tolian Soren. It's the motion pictures version. Alright, so we're at 40 cards right now, and we haven't even messed around with adding in the additional copies that we need of Recruit Mercenaries and War Council. And I don't want this deck to get over 50 cards. So we probably have too many personnel in the deck right now that we're probably going to end up cutting. Like we might cut a couple of these. We're going to probably cut a couple of these dudes. And then we need to get our ships in the deck as well. So, and our copies of our 4 to 5 copies of Quantum Substring Drive. Alright, so there we go. We'll come back to the mission or whatever in the second video. We'll figure that out. Is like that's going to be basically just like an afterthought strategy. It's gonna be, I think we'll probably do it as a space mission, and I think we will commit to this idea of just doing those things, those 2 planets, so that if they want a dead end, you know, if they want to like, because then they're going to have to think, well, if I've got 2 planet combos and I have a dead end and as a duel, then they're going to have to like configure things. They're going to have to like mess up their duel, their planet combo, or they're going to have to just add it on. In which case, then we know that's what it is. If Insurrection gets a 4-card combo, then we just know that, oh, Insurrection's got a dead end followed by a 3-card combo. So that's pretty good. So we'll come back to that in the second video, most likely. So ships. Let's go. Here's the thing. We're playing with Sona, and we're going to get Sona for sure. And Sona things play for free, and the ships are Sona cards. So actually, this is what's really interesting. We are going to run with Sona ships. We're going to run with Lysaria. And we're going to run a Sona battleship. And other Sona battleship. Yeah. Oh yeah. Because we can kind of guarantee, because we're guaranteeing that we're going to get, you know, Sona. And the Sona battleships are pretty big. So we're going to just run 3 of those bad boys. So here's kind of our 4 ships for the deck. Alright, and then recruit mercenaries. We need to get, you know, some of those. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this deck's probably going to be a little bigger than I was hoping that it would be. So that's just kind of how things. Oh, we got 2 lures in here. That's a problem. That helps us, I guess. And I think we can probably just drop a Ray Ellen. And we can just drop a sample right now. And let's get War Councils in the deck. $53 cards, and then because the thing is, though, is that once we start messing with like recruit mercenaries, if we get that recruit mercenaries in the opening hand or not, you know, we have the strong possibility of, and we're downloading cards out. We're going to be downloading personnel out. This deck may actually thin out a little bit faster than we anticipate it will. You know, than we anticipate. We also have the possibility of just pulling these Soon type androids out of the deck. make room, because they're really just in there to to basically be females and possibly play for free. So let's just pull them out. I don't know that they're helping us in any way. Get our quantum swifting drives in there. Just keep in mind though too that the quantum swifting drive isn't really critical because we are going to be running this weird traveler tech. But we'll have to double check our youth again in order to see how much that even works again. I don't remember if it was tracking youth with the Soon type androids or not. So let's just go ahead and stick a couple of quantums in, just because. Yep. Okay. Outside the game, we're going to put the Amargosa Observatory. Coming down during the seed phase. Let's save the deck. Let's check our skills. Yeah, this is actually looking pretty good. Only 4 astrophysics is kind of a problem. And only 2 geology is a bit of a problem. Got plenty of nav. We need another officer. So we need a nav officer. So, sorry, yeah. No, we don't need a nav. Oh, sorry, we need an officer. We need an officer with astrophysics and geo. Non-aligned. Officer geo. We're just going to do officer geo for right now, and then we'll see what we get. Wow. So we're right back to Shankar. Look at that. We're right back to the Shankar. Okay. Shankar. I think one of the nice things about this deck is going to be with the recruit mercenaries, we're not going to really be struggling to find the skills. And then what was the other thing we needed? We needed astrophysics yet. So once again, so let's stick with officer with astrophysics of any kind who is not aligned. Kalita, but she's not strength greater than. Not strength greater than 5. Oh, here we go. Nirana. Nirana gives us another astrophysics. She gives us the astrophysics we need, which is also going to make an opponent's nanoform resuscitations bad. That's interesting. We're not going to struggle for astrophysics early because we're going to have Ruafo on the table. Here's a good one. Terias. I suppose we could have Terias with his double nav. He can and youth. Oh my gosh, and youth. Cool. Astrophysics engineer. He's only strength of 5 though. It's questionable. Must be selected by opponent's choice selections if applicable. That's actually potentially really good as a way to have him be a meat shield. So I don't know. I'm kind of liking Terias. So let's do it. Let's put Terias in because that weird sort of he jumps in the way of making it so that your opponent can't just choose your things. That's kind of interesting. I actually played a test game with my local player Mark, where the fact that the exact choices went off ended up being very big in the game. Where if they'd have been screwed with in any way, the game would have turned out possibly very differently. Okay, so double nav. I don't know who we have for double nav in the deck again, but I feel like we can eliminate somebody. Oh, Nick Locarno. What is Nick Locarno getting us again? I know he's getting his navigation. He's got one of the youth. He's got a transporter skill. Leadership is not that big of a deal. Our transporter skill is like 6. We don't need his transporter skill. We don't need his double navigation anymore. Command Star is not really that super relevant as long as we protect either Roth or Gallatin. We'll be fine. You know, yeah, Nick Locarno isn't like really wowing me. So I think Nick Locarno is actually going to come back out. And then, yeah. Yeah, Nick Locarno comes out. We also have Mina and Kamala who can provide astrophysics as well, so I think we're just going to be good. We've got how many people in the deck? Yeah, we got 34 personnel in the draw deck, so we're pretty much at like roughly the number that we want. So this deck's going to be about 7 cards bigger than I would like it to be, but that's fine, I think. And of course, the important thing is that we're going to be able to get a Sona battleship immediately with Space Door, so that when the amoeba comes a calling, we can go a tagging. On that point, let's go ahead and take a look now to make sure that it is the amoeba that it is that we want to have running down the space line, because it might not be. So we are going to search for it's so hard to see. Self-controlling. Oh, no, that's not self-controlling, is it? Is that the self-controlling? I can't quite tell. I think that's the self-control. Oh, no, here it is. Yeah, that's the self-controlling icon. All right. Yeah, we're not dealing with Planet Killer. I mean, spaceborne entity at insurrection, we're actually protected. We're protected from the spaceborne entity when we're at insurrection, and it would be worth 20 points to us. And so the spaceborne entity, big enough that the opponent isn't going to necessarily screw with it on us, and yeah, okay, it's big enough that I don't think the opponent can, you know, the problem is going to be like us actually tagging it. That's going to be the problem. Whereas Space Amoeba, you know, it's a 14 points, not 20 points kind of a thing. Because Obsession, I believe, is range plus weapons. Otherwise, we could just do the Shellyak. We could just have it be the Shellyak, and then we just like, okay, cool, we get 15 points. Because we're looking at just coming up with 35 points that we really need to come up with. So if we do 15 on the Shellyak, and we do 20 with Choli and Soren, that gets us our 2-mission win. Plus the fact is though that, you know, we're gonna run some of these at the opponent in dilemma selection. So in dilemma selection, yeah, we might be able to just be like, well, that's the argument for spaceborne entity, though. The problem is we have to be able to tag it early. We have to be able to tag it early, depending on where the opponent puts it. If it then shows up early, because it's going to be like turn 2, turn 3 that it's going to get on our doorstep almost no matter what. So we need to be able to tag it early. So I think I actually kind of like running with the Shellyak for the 15. And I don't want to run the beta entity because it'll just kill our people while we're busy trying to kill it. We've got Dichoronium Cloud Creature for 16 points, because it would basically be 6 points from Obsession, 10 points from itself. When we destroy in battle, shields of 12 means all we have to do is tag it with any 3. All we have to do is come up with any 3, and it's not going to blow us up. But it will kill our people as we try to kill it. So that's the other problem. So I just don't like that. This is not good. So let's go with the Shellyak, oddly enough. The Shellyak will have no target. So it just continues to run by no matter what. So that's not a problem. So let's go with the Shellyak. As our Obsession download. Okay. Alright, dilemmas. I'm not going to really make combos here. We're just going to throw stuff in. And we'll leave it to people to figure out. I mean, we'll sort of make combos, I guess. Eltonian Brain Teaser is our self-seed. So... we also have to come up with what we're going to do with our Battle Bridge as well. So let's do that first. We need to come up with weapons if we're going to potentially like tag opponents at random. I mean, we can go with it must be destroyed. Makes it so that if we do attack opponents, it becomes harder for them to shoot us back, but then we have to definitively be better than the opponent. But when we would tag the ship coming, when we tag the Shellyak coming by, we can tag it and then attempt the mission if we need to. Tag it, or we can just tag it and then we move so that we can catch up to it when it tries to continue on. So that's a possibility. The other possibility is we just go with things that reduce range, so that when we do tag the Shellyak, the Shellyak can't go anywhere. Now this is interesting. When the Shellyak would reach Insurrection, I believe Insurrection is I believe that it is a Nebula. I believe it's a Nebula mission. Yeah. I don't think it is, actually. No, it isn't. Yeah, Insurrection itself is not. So we can't use Riker Maneuver. Spiral Rave Disruptor doesn't really help us. Neither does this. Target these coordinates is too much of it, and we never blow them up. They're not on time anyway. Target warp field coils is pretty good. We're not worried about tagging facilities with this deck at all. So this is literally about like 30% shield reduction and -3 range. So even if we don't blow them up, we hit it with that. And since our Sona battleships are going to be bigger than the bigger than the Shellyak, the 2 and 2 is all that's needed. And then we would tag it, flip it, hit it, -6, it can't go anywhere. And then we would also potentially be able to also very much potentially be able just to tag an opponent's ship, so that even if things get nasty, then that ship is stuck from the opponent. So where's the one that triggers off of non-aligned ships? Where's the non-aligned one? Here we go. Determined Assault. Tag bonus +2 if you have a non-aligned ship fire. May not be used to fire bonus facility. Hit. Direct hit. Oh my gosh. Just shields -2 and just a 25% hull reduction. So it's like, yeah, it's so terrible. Yes, we get a 4 and 1 on the attack, but it literally it takes 4 battles to be able to blow them up. Oh my gosh, it's so bad. Oh man, come on guys. What was this? What was this design? Oh my gosh. And that's from like quite a few sets ago. Wow. Alright. We do have Insurrection, and we do have whatever Isolatic Burst, since we'll have Sona battleships or Lysaria. I mean, range -3, hull -3%. We could literally just do Isolatic Bursts, and we could do Isolatic Bursts, and we could do It Must Be Destroyed, and we could do, and then we could do the target warp field coils, and then we can pretty much guarantee that we're going to blow them up on 4 hits. We'll blow them up with 4 hits, and then, we'll have attack and defense bonus. We can go we can go like 33% target warp field coils. We just go 33% on each of them. We can literally do 33% on each of them, and then we'll just take our chances on when we draw stuff. It's not that big of a deal. Because the thing is, though, is that I don't want to have too many then of the Isolatic Bursts. Oh, well, it still does. If you hit randomly kill 1 personnel, and then it's also that, and then when it goes on, it does it again, and the range is reduced. Oh my gosh. We could just go straight Isolatic Bursts. That could be interesting. We don't get a defense bonus. Maybe we could just, we could just go like 50% bursts and 50%, 50% burst and 50% target warp field coils, maybe, or like 60 and 30, just so that we actually have like the possibility of drawing a defense tactic if we need it. I kind of like that for the lulz. It Must Be Destroyed is not going to be. I don't want to go with that, because like it's only going to be relevant for targeting those things, and for the targeting the whatever, and that's not that big of a deal. I mean, if we were being serious, I mean, the other option is, here's the other option, everybody. The other option is that we could go 100% It Must Be Destroyed, and then we could have the instead of using the Shellyak, we we would just go after, instead of using the Shellyak, we would do the spaceport entity. We wouldn't be able to stop the spaceport entity from moving on us, you know, which is kind of what we're thinking here. But if we battle a spaceport entity, then like we would have to make sure that we drew. Oh, yeah, we would more or less have to make sure that we drew. Yeah, we'd end up having to go 60%. We'd have to go 2/3 on that one. Yeah. So, yeah. So this video is reaching about 2 hours now. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna make a decision. We're not gonna go with it must be destroyed. We'll stick with our original plan, and we're just gonna go with isolytic bursts and target primary, or sorry, target warp field coils. And then in the next video, we're just going to go over, and then I'll actually just devote the next video to, the next half of the video, we're going to devote that to working on dilemmas, because dilemmas and dilemma strategy for a deck are obviously a very important thing. And then what we can also do is then we'll also talk, and we'll have plenty of time then to talk about that last mission, and also potentially fine-tune the deck in any way possible that we can, and then we might even have time to just do a quick little run, a quick little dry run, just to see if we can smooth things out. So, all right, everybody, thanks for watching. I may just actually, since I recorded this video late at night, I don't have the time to post it now. I may actually just wait to record the second half and post them together. So you may or may not see this with the second half video as well. But thanks everyone for watching. May the profits be with you.